You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week. Featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Dario Kristen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I am Dario Kristen, and here joining me is Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
DJ Jesse J. And our very special guest today, you see him on OKTV. His name is Josh McBride. We are here with him today. Excited. What's up, man?
So excited to be here with you guys.
You got the remix intro.
Yeah, you got the remix intro.
Does everybody get that?
No, you're a special.
All right, just making sure.
It's because you're white. They wanted to really make sure everyone knew they were listening to Black Hollywood Live.
Right. You're tuning in to Black Hollywood Live.
This is in the wrong spot.
I was waiting for the jokes to start.
Sorry. Well, we got a great show today. A lot of topics, including the Billboard Award nominees were announced. Ooh. We're going to talk about Nene Leakes, who is getting a big raise from Bravo.
She's rich, bitch.
She is rich, bitch. And also, South Carolina cop who is being charged with shooting an unarmed black man. So, a lot of different things to talk about. But first, we're going to read the buzzer-meter question from last week, which was, do you think Jamie Foxx was too harsh on his Bruce Jenner jokes? You guys voted. 14% of you said yes. 86% of you said no. Josh, I know you were probably up to date with all the jokes about the transgender thing that Jamie made. What did you feel about it?
You know, he was hosting a show. He was doing a job. He was trying to be funny. And this is, who knows who wrote that for him. Maybe it was written. We just saw Juliana Rancic got in trouble for doing a joke. That may or may not have been written. Mm-hmm. He was doing a job. I think this was a funny thing that he wanted to get it out there. Khloe Kardashian, she was also very upset about it, saying that he's a friend and she needs to chill. A little chill pill would be good for the Kardashian girls, I think.
I think so. I mean, they are publicity at all times, so everything seems to be sometimes calculated. So I was really surprised by her offensiveness by this whole thing.
Yeah, she was shocked. It was he's a friend. I said, but what is that?
Right.
And friends can make jokes. I have friends that make fun of my parents all the time.
She wanted a reason to tweet.
Yes.
Good point.
And she wanted to be in a magazine for tweeting.
And she made it. Again.
Well,
She's
now
good
they're
at
in
that.
Armenia. Maybe they should hang out there for a while.
Yes.
Just a suggestion.
All right. Well, our buzzer meter question for today is, should food stamps have regulations on the type of foods that you buy? We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But first, we're going to start with trending topics with DJ Jesse J.
Well, the Billboard Awards are coming up, and let's just say the East Coast is not the only place that is flooded with a white wonderland, because Iggy Azalea has 12 fucking nominations, and people are wondering what the hell's going on. So the Billboard Awards are coming up, and let's talk about some of the nominations, because I need to know what you guys are thinking, if you guys think it's fair. People on Twitter are getting really upset because Iggy Azalea is like the queen of rap.
Stop hating on Iggy. Oh my God.
Right until I read
silence. There was
It was an awkward silence at that, right?
Top new artist: Iggy Azalea, 5 Seconds of Summer, Hoiser, Sam Smith, or Meghan Trainor. This is just like, I just feel like everything is set up to make Iggy. I want to know who Iggy Azalea's fucking.
Oh.
Somebody high up.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely somebody
Or
high
she's
up.
just working
Her
with gays.
basketball boyfriend.
No, who's she
And-
really fucking?
Yeah, right. Who's the real
Because
person?
that dick ain't getting no power plays.
This show.
That's street.
This is how we're starting off. The first topic.
Iggy's a star.
She is a star.
Fine.
Okay, so I guess no one has an opinion of best new artist.
I mean, we supposed to pick.
I want to know what you guys think.
Oh,
Forget that. You guys don't even know. No one knows who any of the other people are.
I know who
Sam
Meghan
Smith.
Trainor
I know
is.
Sam
I know
Smith.
who Sam Smith is.
Who's 5
And
Seconds
you said
of
Taylor
Summer?
Swift too,
5
right?
Seconds of Summer is that little
Sing
kid
the song.
group. Like the little, I don't know a song, but I know that they're a little kid, you know.
Right, so
Aren't they
Iggy Azalea's
kids?
winging that one.
They're like teenagers. Like, like a boy band.
I know who they are. I couldn't name one of their songs,
I couldn't
though.
do a song.
I don't even know who they are, and I did the music show. Anyways, top female artists:
Shady.
Iggy Azalea, Ariana Grande, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Meghan Trainor.
Dang.
Megan Trailer's second on a dick.
She's doing a lot else.
I mean, why is everybody that excited about Meghan Trainor? She just had the Ace Bass, my
That's
bass
what I said.
song.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
else are we excited about?
I brought that up on the other show, and I almost got crucified.
Oh.
I'm
was
surprised
like-
you have a problem with Iggy versus Taylor Swift. I think she's been played out at this point.
Taylor
Taylor?
Swift?
Yeah, you guys are Taylor people, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm
Taylor
not.
Swift.
Until this album, honestly, because visually, I can't stand what Taylor Swift puts out there. But visually, what she's been putting out there, it's always consistent.
Yeah.
And it's good music compared to like what else? All of that bass, no trouble. Like, and then the second
Fine.
single
I find that
sounds
song annoying,
exactly
actually.
like that.
I think Sam's annoying too.
No, a little,
Sam?
you know what I mean?
I don't like
if
him.
I'm drinking,
You find
know,
male
by the
Adele?
fire- No,
Male Adele? You
Adele.
raise up with Male Adele?
He is
not
not
the male
Adele.
Adele.
Yes, he
Absolutely.
is.
I have to. Absolutely.
He's not. Oh my God.
Have you
Guys
listened
not
to
heard
his
half
album?
white gay
I've
men
listened
sing.
to his whole album.
He's
and I
working
am-
on his fitness too. You have to give him that.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
Okay,
He did.
I admit I'm a little bit shallow, and so looking at him is like not exciting. So that turns
Yeah,
me off
yeah.
too. But like listening, I
Is he the one that's dating a black boy?
oh, I don't know.
Or is that Ed
Is he?
Sheeran? One of them is.
I love Ed Sheeran.
Is he the one that is?
I don't know.
Little interracial love?
I don't know. They like.
Look,
Sam Smith, he had that whole relationship that was really hard.
Yeah.
That was the whole
That's
first
the whole
album.
yeah.
But he's very. Who's the other English white
Ed
girl that
Sheeran.
always sings barefoot? But she was like the soul singer like 10 years ago, I guess. She had long hair. She
Alanis
always-
Morissette.
No,
Was it-
No. She's English. Alanis is American. You know what I'm talking
with the
about.
voice, yeah,
With
yeah.
the voice.
Oh
can't
God, I
think
can
of
see her. She did the song with Raphael Sadiq too.
Yeah, she was.
Sing the song.
She always sings barefoot, and that's all I can remember. She
Josh
sort of hit me.
Josh Stone.
That's
Jeez,
what
that was gonna kill me till I
Josh
got that.
Stone makes that and Sam Smith, and Josh Stone annoys the crap out of me, and that's how I feel about Sam Smith.
No,
They're
see,
very like it's like forced.
You would rather
soul.
Taylor than Sam Smith.
Rather Taylor. Only one song by Taylor.
Which one?
If I had to listen, she has a song called
I like that one.
Back to December or Back to Remember something. It's a really good relationship song. It's the only Taylor Swift song.
That's
I know,
all
and
of
it's
her
the only one I
songs. The
listen to.
relationship
Yeah,
But
they
no,
are.
it was really a really well written like song that I really enjoy.
Taylor Swift
I literally
works-
have that one song on my iPad.
Taylor Swift works for me because she makes me want to shop at the Gap. If
She
your
doesn't
music
make
makes
me
me
shop
want to
at the
like
Gap.
be
Wow.
in
I
the,
don't
you
want
know
to
what I
shop
mean?
at the Gap.
Wow.
So okay, last one, top rap album. This is why I laughed at
Is Iggy on
Azalea.
here?
Of course she
Okay.
is. J. Cole,
the album wasn't
2014 Forest Hill Drive. The only hip hop
That's a great
album,
song.
rap
A rap
album,
album.
in 10 years to go #1 with no features. But will that get any credit?
No,
Probably not.
But he's awesome.
He's awesome. Drake, if you're reading this, it's too late. I feel like your album was too late to even be up for this award show.
Drake
personally.
sucks. I'm sorry.
No, I like it.
But then,
and Drake
okay.
aren't friends
But
right
who would
now.
you have added that isn't on there?
Wait, we're not done.
We're not
Oh,
done.
we're not done.
Nicki
Okay.
Minaj.
Nicki Minaj, The Pink Print, which people slept on that album, but
Dude,
she
I
also
liked it.
No, but she's sleeping on it
I
because
thought
she
it was
hasn't put
good.
out too much stuff. No, it's amazing.
I
It's a
loved
great
it.
album.
Yeah,
It's
I
actually
thought it was
good.
To
good.
me, that's the best album on.
I think she'll win. Or
Iggy
Drake.
Azalea, the new classic.
Stop hating. It wasn't a bad album.
It was because
It was not a bad album.
her first mixtape, that Art and Ignorant or Bullshit, whatever that fucking thing was, that was an excellent album.
Okay, excellent. I'm saying that for a hip hop album.
Oh, I didn't say no. This is
This is
Well,
rap,
we
right?
already accept that they are confused about what rap is. The Grammys are confused about it. Everybody's confused about it. So we accept that they put hip hop in there all the time, and she's good hip hop.
She's not going to win that award because there would be too much backlash if she won.
Agreed.
That's why they put her in like 5 different categories so she could win the others.
Something.
And
Yeah.
then the last is Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP 2. Who do you think's
That
good?
kinda
J.
came and
Cole,
went, though.
Drake, Nicki, or Eminem?
I think J. Cole
I'm
should
going
win.
with Nicki
but
or
he
Drake.
won't.
I'm going with Nicki. Absolutely.
I want Nicki.
I think Drake is gonna
but I
win.
think Drake's gonna win it.
but
Yeah.
they'll be happy either one of them wins. So
Come
let's-
at
you
Home
know.
was, I mean, that was like the theme song for. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing that song last year, so you could.
Jesse,
Which
how do
song
you
you
really
talking
feel
about?
about it?
Drake's, what is it? The title?
No, this is off of, if you're reading, this is the one he came out
the
with last
newest
month, and
one.
all of a sudden it's at an award show.
Oh, I thought it was the Coming Home song. My bad.
I don't know what that is.
All right, moving
I
on
don't
from
listen to
that.
the radio.
So what else has
You
been
know
going
this
on
one
on
is.
Twitter is this food stamp business situation.
I
So
can't believe we're talking about food stamps.
Peoples is a little upset because there is some rumors running amok that some laws might change with your food stamps. Some governments are feeling like, people take a little bit too much advantage in that, well, wait, why should I be in the grocery store looking at someone buying filet mignon with an EBT card? Why should I be sitting in line watching someone buy sea bass in line with an EBT card?
So what should they be buying is the question.
So what they're saying is that with the EBT card, there will be certain regulations in which it's basic foods. It's chicken. It's meat. It's they're actually talking about getting rid of all seafood, which I don't agree with that.
Seafood and steak.
And steak.
Yep.
This is America. How
So
you
you're
gonna
getting-
not let them buy
Well,
steak?
my thing is, whatever. Like, here's how I look at it, because I've been in that. I've had my EBT card, and I mean, it is what it is. So I've been there.
I love it.
Wear it proud, too.
We're learning a lot about you today that I didn't even know.
Hey, I'm not
I've
mad.
told you this story many times. But my situation was, I've always had several jobs at the same time, and I went through a situation where I needed help, and I said, you know what? I've worked very hard. I need some help right now. So I went down there, and it was so hard just to get a little cash for whatever. But this bitch walked in, then had like no kids, no ID, no nothing. She got $400 cash in her hand. I'm like, I had to fill out the damn Bible to get my EBT card. So I saw some, injustices while I was down there. Also, with this, at first I was mad because I've been in the situation, if someone told me, like, oh, you can't get seafood or get, salmon, little bitch, I don't eat meat. Like, what if I want to eat that, But at the same time, I know too many people who are comfortable with the EBT card and have jobs on top of it and use the situation. And so I think those people are ruining it and bringing it to this point. So I can understand where the talk of regulations is coming in, because people are really abusing this privilege, which it is a privilege, and I feel like people get comfortable on it. I think that something like this will keep people from becoming comfortable on foods. You want a fucking filet mignon, bitch, work to get a job.
Right, but see, I felt like it was a little bit of contradiction in this, because they're saying they also were doing this to have people eat better in America because of the problem,
Absolutely.
the way people eat. So by taking away steak, and I mean not so much steak, but seafood, I mean to me that's the healthier choice versus they were saying like people buying the canned tunas and the canned all the canned foods that aren't good for you. So, or a lot of them aren't good for you. So to me, it was kind of a contradiction in the sense of taking away some of these big things. Now, what they were also saying is that by people, the reason they were taking this away is because people were spending so much money on the steak and the seafood that they didn't have money for the other groceries, because you get $200 a month, correct?
Which is called budgeting, that we all should learn anyways.
Which we all should
We need
learn.
to learn.
Yes, that's
Yes.
We all should learn that anyways.
I agree. But
I don't know, I
$200 a
agree.
month is not a lot of money.
For who's $200? I know people who get way more than $200. $200, that was my basic when they first started, and then when they found out I had any type of 25-cent income, they were like, "Ooh, all right, well,
Yeah.
110, you can survive off that for the month." Like,
If you have dependents, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more. If you
Yeah.
have children,
You
it's
got
a little
3 or 4
different.
kids.
I think it's, if anything, like I get it if they want to restrict, because I know there's like certain fast food places apparently that you can use EBT
KFC.
cards. Like I personally don't think that fast food restaurants should be on the list. I think it should be groceries. That's just my opinion.
Is that because of cost, though?
I think it's cost and health, because
Right.
we're only promoting. We all know that in some of our less fortunate neighborhoods, it's easier to find a fast food restaurant than it is to find some lettuce.
Absolutely.
That's edible.
Absolutely.
but
So-
you have to be like literally
Big problem.
homeless for that. There's 2 EBT cards, and I think you have to be like no address for that one.
For the one that can
'Cause I
use.
tried.
Oh, you tried to get the fast food card and couldn't.
But
Okay,
you're-
so I don't know the specifics of it, but I do believe there should be some restriction in terms of fast food restaurants. But in terms of grocery shopping, I think it's kind of bogus to tell people that
What
you
they need to
can't
buy.
feed your child steak because you're on welfare or whatever. That sounds ridiculous to me. And I'll be a little bit of a Republican for right now. If it is not going to help tax-wise, I don't see why we're restricting anything. Like, I agree that we should be teaching them how to spend their money a little
Absolutely.
bit better. Maybe they're forced to go to budgeting classes or something as long as they have an EBT card. But I don't think us telling them, oh, you can't buy a sea bass is going to do anything.
And they have those classes. They really have those
Are
courses.
there requirements to
but
keep
there's
your
no
money?
That's the
requirement.
problem.
But I went down there and I looked at the list of things they had, and I was like, oh shit, man.
There should be requirements to keep your EBT card.
Yeah, but what if the next thing that we're going to do is now you can't buy frozen vegetables and frozen fruits
No.
because, or you can't buy, fresh food rather, and you have to go for that frozen stuff because it's cheaper and it comes more in bulk. So is that sort of where this line is going of you're sort of pushing the edge? Because obviously fresh fruits are a lot more expensive than a bag of broccoli that's
Exactly.
frozen, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know where the line ends, but
Well, the thing about I don't see the seafood thing happening because that you can tie religious factors, and there are some people who do not eat meat. So to take seafood off of that is, I don't see that really happening.
I mean, the way I see it is, yes, I do agree that we obviously have a problem in America with obesity and just people eating healthy. But on the flip side of that, you can't tell people what they can spend their $200 on.
Agreed.
I mean, I just think
If you're
that
going to give it to them, like,
give it
they
to them.
should
That's it.
give
And
it to 'em.
listen, if they spend all their money and use it all on something they're not supposed to, like spend it all on lobster or whatever it may be, that's on them. You know, I just don't think.
Don't come asking for more.
Don't come asking for more. But you just know what
You
the
can't
rules
have no
are.
potato with that lobster,
It
as
is
you spent
just
all your money.
You got 2 lobsters for the month.
Right, and kind of with what Josh was saying,
split
and when
that
they
tip.
give the money each month, maybe they do need to have some type of educational, budgeting something, seminars or ambassadors or someone who can tell people exactly, give them a little guidance on what they need to do and how to make it make most sense for that month.
And we already restrict them or restrict our money giving with food with WIC, so I don't know why
True.
it's so strange that like you can't just say you can only do grocery instead of fast food and whatever. I don't know, because like with WIC, you get that for women and children or something. I don't remember. I used to work at a grocery store. That was my first job. But they could only get like milk, cheese,
They have
and
the WIC
certain kinds of
section,
juice.
yeah.
Like you could only get juicy juice. You can't get like all these other ones because juicy juice is supposed to be actually 100% juice, and you could only get like certain brands and products of a very specific. But they're supposed to be like the staples that would be in your house. So, I mean, I'm not mad at that. So, I mean. Give them a little grocery restriction maybe, but maybe cut out the fast food.
Yeah, fast food should be cut out.
Well, you know what's not restricted is AfterBuzz TV. Whatever your favorite TV show is, whether it be Real Housewives of Atlanta, Scandal, or even Love and Hip Hop. As soon as the show's done, make sure you head over to our sister site, AfterBuzzTV.com, and we will be talking about it right after the show.
All right, thank you, Jesse. We're going to move on to gossip with Courtney Stewart.
That was a segue.
Wow,
for you.
that was a great
nice. That was a
segue,
great
Jesse.
segue.
Thank you so much because you talked about Real Housewives of Atlanta, and that's what we're talking about. So y'all all know who the rich bitch is. Her name is Nene Leakes, and she decided that this season of the Housewives of Atlanta was just garbage, and she did not want to be a part of it anymore, and she was going to walk. And that is until Bravo came to her begging her to stay and upping her salary. She was already making $1.5 million for this last season. By the way, you did not
She was
earn your
at
dollars, girl.
all.
You did not earn that
Like
$1.5
Claudia
million.
should have got half of that.
Anyway, so they said they would up her salary. No word yet on what it actually got up to, but supposedly it's a large increase, which will keep her as the head BIC on Bravo because none of them other hoes is making that kind of money on No Housewives, okay? And she got her spinoff show with Kim Zolciak, in which apparently she's also making more money than Kim Zolciak. How do you feel about that, Jessica?
So wait, so she's coming back next season.
She will be back next season with a bigger salary
So okay.
And a show.
and a spinoff show with Kim
with
Zolciak.
Kim,
With Kim Zolciak.
Right.
you don't get your spinoff like Kim. You
That's
get it
true,
with.
but you making more money than Kim for the spinoff.
So that's all
Is
that
she?
matters.
Yes.
How does Kim feel about that? Is what I want to
We
know.
haven't heard yet, but I would love to find out.
Yeah.
It'll probably be an episode.
She probably,
It absolutely will be.
It
she
absolutely.
probably doesn't care in the end because she still has her own
Yeah,
show.
she's like, hi.
She's like, okay,
There's also
this is
that.
my other show.
Right. Nene, thanks for the ride.
Thank you, Nene.
I mean, listen, obviously we know Nene brings in the extra drama, but I feel like
No,
this
she
particular
doesn't.
season
Really?
she hasn't.
She
I feel like it's
hasn't
been
even
living on
existed.
its own without
She's
her.
been downhill since, what, 2 seasons ago?
Okay, she wasn't downhill.
She
this season.
stirs the pot,
She
though.
was going
The
through
Milo
it when she was
situation,
having
really.
her husband situation, and then they got back married. This is the first season. I am a Nene supporter. Have been for many years. This year is the first year that I'm like, Nene, you need to go somewhere.
But let's be honest, though. If you're not a Real Housewives of Atlanta watcher, who is the one person you can name from that show if you're not a watcher?
Nene.
Nene and
Right.
Name recognition.
At this point, Kenya.
I would even go
At this
more
point,
Nene.
yeah.
I would say
Period.
Nene over all of them.
And that's where Bravo's saying, hey, we got to keep the money
Yeah.
pumped into the show because this adds drama, this adds that social media, this adds that sort of zhuzh that they need to
Yeah.
keep that show going.
Yeah.
It'll be just interesting to see how this season finishes out with Nene because we do the after show for it. So to
Yes.
see the fan base kind of, we were all team Nene and now it's just like,
You're a bitch.
no
We
one
don't
knows
like
how to
you.
feel about it. It's just kind of like, girl, you got money and now you're just sitting up there not knowing how to deal with it. And I want to be happy for all of the things that she gets, but she puts herself on this pedestal
She does.
to where it's like, well, girl, you ain't working right now. So
Well, Bravo clearly has extra money to spend. They just brought back
They
Bethany
got-
Frankel on the New York Housewives,
great.
there's
I'm
like
so glad
there's
she's
like 8
back.
women on that show. So
I love
clearly
Bethany.
they got the money to spend.
I need to.
It was a great
find
episode.
Andy
Well,
Bravo.
Bethany didn't have enough money with her own stuff, so
Exactly.
that's why
She
she
needed
came
more.
back. Really.
Exactly.
She wanted to be herself
She
came
on
back.
television again.
But do you see Nene being able to leave Bravo? Realistically.
Well, maybe she'll get more Broadway gigs.
Okay.
I pause.
Yeah.
Cricket. Cricket.
They doing a Real Housewives on Broadway?
Spin off the road and crash. I mean, she'll do something else.
She'll do something.
She'll do something.
She did do
She had,
network
she had a
TV.
speaking role on Broadway.
You know, she did.
She did network TV. I mean, let's not forget that. I
She
mean,
did, and
the
she's
shows
still
got
in that
canceled, but that
circle.
was
And
that was
she
not her
has a
fault.
good publicist. The reality is she's working and she will always work
She will
because even when she did that ramen thing with her head,
Yeah.
everybody saw it. Remember the ramen
Yes,
hair?
the ramen
Y'all
hair.
remember, right. Everybody saw it. So something is working. She
wig
gets
heard
the
around
buzz.
the
And that line
Yes.
sold on QVC like none other, or HSN, whichever one it was on, and it is still selling.
No,
So,
that's to me her smartest play.
well, that's why she has to stay on TV though.
But her
That's why she
business
just didn't
manager is,
follow.
I mean, I would hire that guy.
Yeah.
Whoever that guy is,
absolutely.
you know?
Smart,
Yeah.
Make
smart
a wig
moves.
work like that.
But I don't know. She is also spending fairly fast because she just bought another mansion, sprawling mansion in Atlanta. So maybe
Chateau Sheree.
she likes to spend just as much as she likes to earn. And I'm sorry, but $1.5 million is a lot of money, but it ain't that much money, girl. So.
Is Greg working still? That's the question.
No, Greg
he
is her
retired.
personal
I just feel like now
manservant.
Greg is always with her every minute
Yes.
she goes somewhere.
That's
so.
her manservant.
That's the manservant. Gotcha.
Manservant.
Okay.
I
All
want
right.
that job, I think.
I think I want that
I don't
job
think
too.
I'd be mad. I'd be like, Nene, we wear the same shoe size.
I would
I'll be your
never
servant.
want to be Nene's.
No, I didn't say her. I said maybe
I'm
someone
talking
else.
about the job,
Hey,
not
man.
Nene.
Right, I can't do that.
Hey, manservant.
Maybe Taraji's.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know why she
cookie.
just popped in my head.
You would do
I would do
cookies?
You would do cookies?
Oh, you would
I
do cookies?
surely would.
Too. Oh, okay. Well, that's
like
another
that.
conversation on
Yeah.
another show. I'm going to talk about student loans now. So,
Nice transition.
The best transition I've ever seen ever.
Well, hey, her kid.
her kid
see.
is going to school, but he ain't got to worry about student loans because mom can pay for it. That's why she
Right.
sent him to
That
Howard,
little
because she didn't want to waste her money. But for those of you all that didn't know this, because I didn't know this week, did you know you could get your license revoked for defaulting on your student loans?
Yeah.
Y'all knew that? I didn't
didn't.
know that. I had no idea, maybe because I pay my bills.
Right.
No shade. I'm kidding.
No shade,
Gary.
no
All
I'm just
shade.
kidding.
All, that was all shade, let's be
Super
honest.
shady.
Okay, so apparently in 22 states you can have your not only your driver's license but also professional licenses revoked. So if you are a nurse or some kind of engineer that your job requires you to have some kind of professional license, they can revoke your ish and you can't work if you didn't pay your student loans. Okay. The problem with that is you actually want the people to pay their student loans, and if they can't work because they don't have a license, then it kind of screws up that whole theory. So they are reevaluating in some states, thinking maybe we shouldn't revoke people's licenses. And a Democrat by the name of Muffy Funk, I don't know, that just did things for me, in Montana.
What did it do for you?
I don't
Courtney?
know. I'm like Muffy Funk in Montana, and you're a Democrat state representative. Okay, she's in Montana. She brought this up. Apparently nobody really realized that this law was still on the books. It happened in the 90s because at that time student loans were mostly being lent by states, so the states had a heavier debt in with these kids, so they were trying to encourage them on a state level to pay their bills back. But now most of student lending is through the federal government. So anyway, she found this law in the books, and she actually said it was embarrassing, and she thinks it's counterproductive because obviously if you don't have your license and you can't work and you can't drive to work in a state like Montana where they drive everywhere, so your driver's license is essential to you going to work and stuff like that, it's not really going to help you get to a point where you can pay your bills back. So she has put a bill out there that she's trying to get this overturned in her state, and she's encouraging other states to do the same thing. The problem is there are other Republicans that think that it's still a great idea. And we have a quote from State Senator Dee Brown, who said, "I think that this is one of the sticks that we can use over a kid who is not paying their student loan. It's a stick to get their attention, and what better way than their driver's license?"
You're gonna push people from not wanting to go to school because it's too expensive, and they don't even want to take the chance of affording it.
Well, that's already happened.
Well, I
It's
mean,
putting them into this box that it feels like it's threatening.
Yeah.
This is absolutely threatening.
Yeah.
And then you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
And so what happens if you get pulled over without what happens if you get pulled over without a license then?
You don't have a license.
And then
they
you
can
don't have a
impound
job.
your
And you don't
car,
have a
and then
job,
you don't
yeah.
have a job.
Yeah.
So you're
So-
going to be able to pay your
life
loan back.
sucks.
How can
I think it's a dumb rule.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
doesn't make
I
sense.
love it.
I don't know who thought about that, but they didn't really think out the entire plan on this.
No.
You need a car most of the time to get to your job. I mean,
mean,
yes,
you're
there's public
walking-
transportation,
Yeah.
but where are you going to have the majority of these people, especially college students nowadays, which we talk about all the time about college students not being able to find jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
And if you're a nurse and your license gets revoked and you're nursing without your license, and then you can get fined by the state for not having a license, so then you're just building up fines for not having a license when you already can't pay your loan, so you definitely can't pay those fines either. So who's winning here? Nobody.
No one.
We're all failing.
Right, everyone gonna be broke and can't eat no steak or nothing.
No seafood.
And they're going to see Iggy Azalea win all of the damn
Yeah,
awards.
they're gonna win all the awards when they're sitting at
Fuck is
home
our
and
world
can't get a
talking
job.
about?
Right.
What's becoming of us? Oh.
All right.
And that's it.
All right.
And that's all. We feel real good right now.
I feel real good.
I'm glad I pay my bills.
Right, me too.
Pay
I
mine
dug
on
myself
time.
out of that hole, y'all.
I'm still in that hole, but I pay it every month. Damn it. Sally Mae, you bitch.
Sally Mae don't call me no more. That was the first bill I was like. That's some lessons to y'all.
I went to a private university. I don't recommend it. It costs a whole lot
Costs
of
a lot
money.
of money. Yes, it does. All right, well, we're going to move on to hot topics, but first, before we do that, we want to remind everyone to go to iTunes and give us a rating and comment. We love the 5s, but if you don't have a 5 for us, let us know what you're thinking and what we could improve on with our programming. You can go to Black Hollywood Live, and we have about 15 different shows, including The Beat, which Jesse hosts. We have Fashion 401 with Courtney. We have This Week, many episodes of This
That's
Week
what
there.
we're doing
Portraits.
right now.
We just had a great guest today,
Yes.
Troy Byer. So please go to iTunes, give us a rating, and we make sure we pay attention to that and give you the best programming that we can. All right, we're going to move on to our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Story.
I feel like I need to do the robot. I should have warned you about that, Josh. Sorry. Josh was like, wait, am I supposed to break into it like a robot or something?
I didn't know what that was.
that was really intense. You pushed the button with your foot, Josh. That's what it was. All right, well, this story has been making headlines this week. It happened last Saturday, and it's been a continuous conversation about what we've been talking about for many months with Black Lives Matter, of unarmed black men and just black men in general being shot by police. There was a man by the name of Walter Scott in Charleston, South Carolina. He was pulled over because his Mercedes, they said, had a tail light that was out. Now, he apparently had a record of not paying his child support. They said he owed about $18,000 in child support. So they're saying that his thinking was that he was being pulled over also because of this. So the cop was talking to him, and they have a surveillance camera now that they just released today from the cop car showing that he was actually, they were going through the procedures on what exactly happened. So when the cop pulled him over, he ran. And so they're saying that the cop was saying that he actually tried to get his taser, and when he ran off, the cop shot him multiple times, one through the buttocks, several through the back, and one piercing his heart. There has been a video that has surfaced prior to the cop statement that was saying that he was in a scuffle with Mr. Scott about the getting the taser. So we have a little clip here of showcasing a bystander who was actually walking around, who was actually looking at the time. I guess we do not have a clip right now, so we'll just continue to tell the story. So,
Because I don't know what I said.
yeah,
don't
it's
even
really
see it
crazy.
anymore.
So you can go online and go to YouTube and look at this clip because it showcases the bystander who happened to be there. It showed the scuffle, and it showed Mr. Scott being shot 8 times. Now, what we're finding is this is starting to be obviously a trend that's going on. I mean, we've had this Eric Garner, we've had several different things that have gone on in the last couple of years. The cop who actually shot Mr. Scott has been charged with murder. So this is a little bit different situation because of the fact that, obviously we know the results of what's happened before. What are you guys thinking in reference to what's going to really happen to the system and to this cop after all this stuff surfaces? Because his stories don't seem to be matching up. Because he said that he had the taser in the scuffle. The video shows that he actually dropped some object by Mr. Scott when he was sort of walking towards him. But where I'm really confused is that it looks to me in the video that he is actually looking at the person who is videotaping this. And why would you even try and lie in this situation? And you know that there's cameras now and all this stuff. So what do you guys think about the entire story?
There was a couple actual recent developments in the story. The guy who took the video was on the Today Show with Matt Lauer yesterday, telling everyone how he was basically, at this point, scared shitless.
Yeah.
He's at a point where he doesn't know what to do, was coming forward the right idea. So I think that's the first question also is if you were that person, would you come forward? The second thing sort of is the fact that the police report came out. On the police report, first of all, we saw the video. Everyone saw the video.
Yes.
So in the police report, it said first aid and CPR was done on Mr. Scott.
Yep.
This never happened.
No,
No.
boo.
That never happened. We also just found out recently that there was a passenger in the car in which that was pulled over.
His friend.
I have not heard, and I don't know if anybody else has heard of anything that happened with him. I know he was detained and he was taken into custody as
That's all
well.
we're saying right now.
But we haven't heard from comment. We haven't heard evidence or anything like that from him as well. So there's a lot of kind of mysterious stuff happening behind the scenes when it comes down to all of this stuff. And that makes me sketched out completely. The whole thing is ridiculous as we saw from the video, which it was very hard to watch. You know, every newscaster said the same thing. This was a hard video to watch, and it absolutely was. The fact that when you're looking behind the scenes, you're looking at the police report, you're seeing that he dropped something mysterious, and we don't know what it was. I don't believe. Do we know that it was a taser?
They have not confirmed that yet.
And do you go from taser to gun because you can't find it, or do you know what I mean? Like there wasn't running. He stopped. Right. He stopped, pulled out his gun, and shot him 8 times. Yeah. If we wanted to stop him, and he was that much of a threat, and I'm not ever saying result to a gun, you're going to shoot him in this area 8 times.
Right.
God, I'm gonna make sure my taillights are always on because.
And your child support is paid.
And your child support is paid.
Is already paid. No, but my thing is just this: is that exactly like what you just piggyback off of you. I'm just sketched out that we live in a country to where there is now video, and we still sitting up here like, what's gonna happen to him? Like, we really think that there might be a chance that this man gonna be like, nope, the police reports are right. You good? Walk away. That's fucking scary to me.
Well, I mean, we've seen how other cases have turned out, and there's been videos as well. But
this one was pretty.
This is pretty blatant.
I gave him CPR. No, you didn't.
He did, and he didn't. and he didn't. And how are you going to tell me in a police report that there was CPR given?
Right.
There wasn't. We saw.
Well, you see that even when the cops come over, they're standing around.
They're going like this.
No one has applied anything to that man. He's face down in the grass.
And I think that's
with the handcuffs on.
For me, that's almost the scarier, sadder. I don't know. Like it's the saddest part to me is that I'm not surprised by anything that I saw.
Nope.
For one.
Yeah.
Number 2, I'm also so overwhelmingly appalled that many other cops were just standing there and saw and I just, even for me, it's like, how audacious do you have to be in the environment that we're already in right now in this country? Like, before this happened, we got the little boy in Ohio that got shot because he had a toy gun. We had Trayvon Martin. We had, it's very present in our minds. So the idea that you had that kind of audacity in basically a whole police force, because that was a nice sample of your police force in North Charleston. And the idea that still wasn't enough to make anybody in that row think this is some bullshit.
What kind of conditioning is it?
For a taillight.
For a taillight. As far as we know, those other cops corroborated everything that he said. They supported him, and I understand the psyche that cops have to have each other's backs because they do dangerous jobs, and you can't be on the outskirts of that because your partner has to be able to back you up, and if you're not on the team, then they may not help you when you're getting shot at. So I get that. But it's in our face already. It's already present in our minds. Some shit is going down. And the fact that they could just stand there and be fine with it and then do a report about it, and not just him, but 3 or 4 other people that signed their names on it, and they're fine with it. And if there's the fact that there's still people that can say that it's maybe an isolated incident or a little bit boggles my mind. 1 time is an isolated incident. 2 times, maybe a coincidence. 3 times is a fucking pattern, and we got 50 options to pick from. So at some point, I would like for the federal government, just in my opinion, to I already said this before, we need a for real study of what's going on in every fucking police department in this country and have some actual numbers for some people and start doing something and stop being stupid.
I'm actually scared for the guy who was on the Today Show as well.
God.
And I don't want him protected by police.
No.
I want him in a separate outside private program.
I would like him to go to Canada.
I would. He needs. If I was him, you don't know what these people are capable of. That he took the video, and we all say that that's a great thing that he took the video because now there's the proof that this guy can get in trouble.
Thank God. I mean, it sucks for him, but thank God.
But what's happening? What are the other side? What's the other side thinking? He has the video and he launched it, and now what do we do about him?
Someone has a friend who
Charleston is a small. North Charleston is not a large city.
It's 100,000 people, and they said 47% of the people are African American, 42% is Caucasian. And then they were also talking about which statistically
80% of the police
force.
Is
80%
white.
of the police force is white. Yeah, it's crazy. So
Now, is this the other thing is this a trend? So there was a recent story actually that happened in LA a couple weeks ago where a black cop shot a black homeless man.
Yes.
That makes me question, and I'm just throwing it out there, is this a black thing then? Or is this sort of like, if the cop was black, what does that mean? I mean, what does that really mean?
Well, here's my thing, though. The person who, if you look at the video, even for this, the person who came, the second cop was black, and he had no sense of emergency. So it does make you wonder, I mean, yes, I think it's black. Just black people are just victims overall.
Yeah.
And even unfortunately is black on black crime, even among the police force. But it's like, what is their
I
thinking?
think
Is there a conditioning?
there's a cop
It's a cop
mentality
thing,
about
yeah.
black and
Mentality.
brown bodies that
Yeah.
is very specific in cops. Whether you're a black, Mexican, whatever,
Yeah.
cops have a very specific perception, especially in neighborhoods. Now, granted, North Charleston apparently was supposed to be one of the most dangerous cities in America,
Yeah,
like
that's what
maybe
they said,
2 or 3
yeah.
years ago. So they definitely have a crime problem, but it still seems to be targeted to the brown communities of that city where this kind of aggression is happening. So I think that it's definitely a cop situation, and we're training. We are probably not doing any real like mental psychological tests on any of our cops, and I think the whole power complex is a part of it, and you got to obviously have some kind of power complex to even want to be a cop, so I respect that, but I think that we need to evaluate that a little bit more because it's a little too militaristic, and it's like we're training Marines to just shoot and kill.
For
Yeah,
a
but
on our
tail
streets,
light.
Yeah.
in
For a
daylight,
tail
in
light.
broad daylight in our neighborhoods.
Can we
But
just
honestly,
put a warrant
I'm
out for
sick
that
of,
person
I'm really
if they
sick
were
of talking about it though, because I feel like we keep saying this every time we give the same statement. They need to do this. They need to do that. When the hell is it really going to happen? I mean, because
they've
they've
been
been
saying
talking
this for
about
years.
the cameras on the cops and all this other stuff. When is it going to happen? We're it's not. It doesn't seem to be changing quick enough because we still keep hearing stories about
But is
this.
cameras going to stop this? I know
No.
that they were talking about yesterday on the news that a lot of, in some communities now, the cops are going out with cameras that are strapped to themselves.
Yes.
Is that going to stop it? I don't think personally that that's going to do much.
I don't think it'll stop it, but I think that it will. It's saying, look, we're starting to move in a direction that you could get caught just because
Yeah,
you
you
have
could get
power.
caught, yeah.
You can't have power over video surveillance. Like this is literal proof. Like this to me can set off a riot, another riot to go down after this guy. God bless. Hopefully he really gets charged for this and no bullshit happens, but
Well, I applaud Walter Scott's family too because they've been encouraging people to not protest.
Yeah.
So they're saying let's not make this violent. Let's just get justice. And I think the heat's really going to be applied on this one. I mean, we even saw that I was mentioned earlier with the police cam. It just doesn't add up because the police cam shows that Walter Scott got out of his car a couple times, and the officer did tell him to get back in his car, and then it shows him kind of fleeing, but then it said it went out of range. So there's no proof that what this cop is saying as far as this struggle. And then it doesn't add up from what the cam says to what the video says that has been posted as well, because from the video you see him clearly running, what do they say, 20 feet away from the cop, and there was no struggle.
And why didn't he run? The cop stayed there. I mean, was he just...
Well, because he's been arrested, they said 10 times.
No,
Because
you're saying why did the cop run?
Oh,
why did the
him.
cop chase him?
Oh.
Because apparently
Because he didn't
too many
move.
calories to burn.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't move, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
wasn't.
it's
I mean,
strange.
it didn't...
The one thing I will say, the guy that released the video or whatever and being afraid for his life, the one thing I will say, obviously for the cop situation, it's great because it's evidence and hopefully this guy will go to jail. But I think for the larger portion of our country to actually see, because I don't believe that there's been an incident yet where those people, whoever they are out there, that have this idea Michael Brown probably was shoving on that cop and he kind of deserved it. He did that. Or so-and-so was resisting this and Trayvon Martin was fighting that dude. He kind of deserved it. To see visually somebody not in the midst of the struggle and being shot like that, he was executed. Yeah. And I think that it's a stronger statement than anything we've had so far. And I think it is also, I would hope that it moves people the same way that when they broadcast the Selma March in the 60s, that when you actually saw the people being eaten by dogs and blown, until they actually saw it themselves, it becomes much more of a reality than the idea of something happening and possibly being wrong.
Yeah, that's my hope. But we also saw the Eric Garner video where he clearly was
But-
stating on that video, "I can't breathe."
But
and
he
that
was
didn't
also
change anything
fighting,
either.
Right.
and he was on the corner selling something illegal. He was doing something that he wasn't supposed to
But to
be
go
doing.
on your point, does that mean that there's still going to be those people that say, well, he did have $18,000
Right,
in
yeah.
child
Yeah.
support and he ran from a
Right.
cop?
He was arrested in 1987.
They already
Kill
said that.
somebody.
Right.
because of
Somebody
that.
already said
You
that,
don't. But
yeah.
but there are people that think that way
Still
that
think
are
that
still
way.
going to. And
Agreed.
we saw the whole
But I
Eric Gardner
think
thing.
at least in this one, the idea of him being a threat to this man is yes, he's a horrible person, whatever, but him being a threat to him is clearly not the case in this. Eric Garner, a big old black man, and he struggled. He gave them a hard time getting him down. This one, he was not anywhere near that dude. So I hope that shines a light in a different way. God knows, I don't know.
Yeah.
We-
Well,
I don't
we could,
know.
yeah,
We
that
could
topic
keep
That could be it.
That
We
could,
could
that
go.
could have been our entire show to talk about that. But I just hope that there's some justice that actually happens.
White guy from the booth can say something.
Sure.
Is that cool?
I don't know.
No, I'm not.
I don't know right now.
What you about to say?
What you about to say?
I'm not going to say an argument. I'm actually going to say, what do you guys think of the advances in technology with streaming from small devices? Because a lot of the arguments that police officers make in these cases are, okay, well, they have the camera on them that can only get so much, but they're making split-second decisions. They don't have anything to consult with. What do you think if, moving forward, we have these cameras on the cops, footage is actually being streamed to the station with somebody providing them intel and providing them decision-making opportunities?
I mean,
That's a hard
sounds
job.
That
Like,
sounds extra.
that sounds like 2087.
But
for
I do
now.
think, on that note, I'm glad you brought that up, because I do think the whole idea of the camera is almost, I mean, it's not pointless. I think it'll do something, but I don't think it'll do nearly as much if we have a live feed. Because the bottom line is
Like
that just opens
Periscope
up more
for
room
cops?
for people to like take, oh, my camera was off, oh, my battery was dead, oh, this
Right.
happened, and somehow the footage isn't there. So I would like a live stream, if that's possible, to make that happen, but I'm sure it's too expensive and it won't work
But
out.
someone
whatever.
sitting in front of their
But I
computer
don't know.
watching
I
and
don't
making
know if
decisions?
somebody would be able to do
Yeah, I don't know
that.
about the decision
I don't know about
part.
the decision part, but I would like the information to be uploaded immediately.
There's a way.
I don't
come
mean
on,
like that.
iPhone's got Periscope, Meerkat, all that stuff. You can't tell me that they can't create something that can.
Yeah, I'm not saying somebody behind their
Recording
computer
video.
making every decision. I'm saying instead of having to call for backup, the person at the station can just go directly to the live feed, see what they're seeing, and provide maybe more decision-making process. But at
Like
least
a
the
team
live feed would be
producer.
uploaded. The
Yeah.
live feed would be uploaded, and they couldn't tamper with the footage before it was uploaded to the
Yeah.
server.
I
Yeah.
definitely like that. And I mean, I don't think it would hurt if there
more
was someone there
transparency,
watching
you
it.
know.
And how expensive would that be too?
I mean,
And who's paying for that?
Yeah, that's it. And who's us?
well, see, that,
Taxpayers.
that's what I
The
thought. It's
EBT
gonna be-
card.
They're not going to vote for it, you know.
It's
So
going to be expensive, and I'm not really interested in paying more taxes.
me either, but you know, we gotta
student
come
loans
to
off.
some solution for this because it's
If it
just getting out of
stops.
control. It's
Right.
got to stop. So, all right, on to other black subjects.
Or not black subjects.
Or not black
actually.
subjects. So, Mindy Kaling, who is a famous actress, she was on The Office. She's also in the Mindy Project. Her brother has a very interesting book that's about to come out called Almost Black, and it talks about his experience as saying that he was a black man to get into medical school. Apparently, VJ Chokal Ingham.
Nicely done.
Thank you. I practiced that all day. He, detailed in this book about how he was faking being a black man. He had applied to different medical schools. I think he applied to 22, which he actually only got into one, which I'll talk about a little bit later, because it kind of goes away from his theory of why he was acting like a black man. But he said that he felt that he wanted to kind of make a statement about affirmative action. He felt that with affirmative action, that Asian Americans, Indian Americans, Caucasians were all being discriminated against because of affirmative action. So he wanted to prove a point that he could get into some of these schools that look at black people and say, okay, I have to lower my standards as far as you getting into med school. But going back to my point, what we ended up finding out is that he actually only got into one of the 22 schools that he applied to, so it actually defeated the entire theory of him wanting to be a black man. Now, the only thing that was good that came out of this is that he said that he actually learned a lot about black culture and just learning about the struggle of black people as a whole.
This sounds like a segment on Tyra Banks' show.
Right, it does. Yeah, but he said that he learned a lot of the racial problems. He said some of the things that happened to him was he was harassed by cops. He said that he was accused of shoplifting. He said that women either were scared of him or they loved him because of the whole Mandingo thing, you know, the mystery behind the black man. And so apparently Mindy is not happy, or his family is not happy with him writing the book. They think it's a disgrace, but he has been going around on the circuits and saying that he feels like this will help with changing affirmative action, which he thinks that it should stop.
Wait a second. Can I ask something? I'm sorry. This is just too ridiculous. He's lived all his life looking like how he does. How did he change that to make people think that he was
He
black?
shaved his head.
He's
And
dark
did he-
featured. He has full lips. He shaved his head, and there are a lot of African. We obviously come in different shades, sizes, and colors. That he has a more islandy look, like a Caribbean look, when he did shave his head. So he didn't look
had
like
to
the
go
picture that
tan
we
or
had right
something.
there. He shaved his. I mean, there was people I went to school with who definitely had more of a Caribbean island look, and they were black. So I mean, you can get away with it. With what he did. And he also changed his name to JoJo, which is his nickname.
I
JoJo.
really can't with
Is
this
he
JoJo. JoJo.
I cannot.
Yeah.
So many.
And this is the irony. He dropped out of school after 2 years.
The irony
He
is
didn't even finish.
the fact that he's
not
Mindy Kaling's brother. Would this be news if he
No one
wasn't
would.
Mindy Kaling's
And if he
brother?
wasn't writing this book, Almost Black.
If this was whoever, would this still be a story?
No, what he should have did if you really wanted to get in is he should have pretended to be Native American, because they get into any school they want.
That is not
That's
the
true.
point of the story.
At all.
But it is
Well,
the truth.
I don't know if I'll be buying that book. What about you, Josh? Are you interested in finding out how he was a black man or almost a black man?
What it's like to be a black
What it's like to be a black man?
I'll
dating
go
a
into
black
Barnes
man?
and Noble and sit and read it, but I'm not buying it.
You know what? You can just talk to us. Yeah.
He
Just come back to this
went
week.
through it as a
Wow,
black
I ain't read-
man.
Can I sit down with you guys?
No, I'm talking
Yes.
about learning to be black, not about the book.
I'm so confused.
I'm still learning.
What the?
That's a great one. Yeah, that one.
What the?
How do you even?
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Josh.
Well-
Where can fans find you and see what you do and all your pop culture and lifestyle expertness that you have?
Oh, there's so much. If you go to @JoshyMcB on Twitter or Instagram, JOSHYMCB, I upload a lot there.
All right.
Yes.
Courtney, where can fans find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram @StuartStarlet.
Jesse.
At DJ Jesse J.
You can find me at Dario Kristen on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, remember to vote for the Buzz Meter question, which we talked about today. Should food stamps have regulations on the types of food you buy? We gave our opinion. We want to know what you guys think, and we'll read those results next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.